Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to talk about API. So the question that is in your mind is, what is an API? Now API is Application Programming Interface. Now what is that? API is the acronym for Application Programming Interface, and it is an interface that allows two applications to talk to each other. Like whenever you are on Facebook or you want to send a message, or if you want to check your weather on your phone, you're using an API. Now, what exactly is an API? And if I want to give you an example of an API, what would be an example of an API? So whenever you're using an app on your mobile, the application connects to the internet and sends the data to the server. The server then retrieves that data, it interprets it, and performs all the necessary actions and sends it back to your phone. The application then interprets the data and presents you with the information that you want it in a readable way. So this is what an API is. So if I want to explain this in a simpler language, so just imagine that you are sitting in the table in a restaurant and you have the menu card in front of you. The kitchen is the part of the system that will prepare the order that you would give to the waiter. So what is missing is the critical link to communicate your order to the kitchen so that the food can be delivered to your table. Now this is where the waiter comes in. So here the waiter is the API. So it is a messenger that will take your request for the order and will tell to the kitchen, which is the system, what to do, what food to prepare. And then the waiter will deliver the response back to you. In this case, it is food. So the waiter will take your order, go to the kitchen, prepare the food, and bring the food back to you. So the waiter here is the API. Now, if I want to give you a real life API example, you may be familiar with the process of searching flights. Like you have a variety of options to choose from, like different cities, departures, and return dates. So for example, you're booking a flight on an airline website, and you choose a date and a city, a return city, a date, a cabin class, as well as other variables. In order to book the flight, you would have to interact with the airline's website to access the database and see the availability of seats and baggage options. Now, two more good examples of API is Google Maps and Twitter. Now, in Google Maps, so in addition to the core API to display the maps, the app also utilizes other APIs which provide you with directions. For Twitter, each tweet contains descriptive core attributes, including an author or unique ID. Now, the Twitter makes public tweets and replies available to developers and allows the developers to post tweets via the company's API. So, Google Maps and Twitter are very good examples of API. Now, another question that would arise in your mind is, what if we are using an online travel service or app which aggregates information from a number of airline databases? So for example, if you're using Paytm for flight bookings, or you're using yatra.com or any other websites, so how does that come into picture? So the travel service in this case interacts with the airline's API. So this API is the interface. It's just like the helpful waiter which we talked about earlier, and that API is called by the service to get all the relevant information from the airline's database. If you want to book seats or if you want to have baggage options, the API then takes the airline response to your request and delivers it back to the app, and then it shows you the most updated and relevant information. Now, how does an API work? Now, the API is a set of rules that will explain how computers communicate with one another. So a client application initiates an API call to receive information. It's also called as request. Now, after receiving the request, the API makes a call to the external program or the web server. Now, the server then sends the response to the API with the requested information. And lastly, this API transfers the data to the initial requesting application. Now, the API also provides a layer of security. Now, when your phone's data is never fully exposed to the server, like the server is never actually exposed to your phone. Instead, each communicates with small packets of data, sharing only what is necessary. Now let's talk about some modern APIs. Now more recently, the modern APIs have many characteristics that make them extraordinarily valuable and useful. Now some of these characteristics are that these APIs adhere to standard HTTP protocols. They are treated more like products than like code. And as they are more standardized, they have a much stronger discipline for security and governance. And a modern API also has a software development cycle of designing, testing, building, managing, and versioning. So this was all about API. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Till we meet again in another video, you guys take care. Goodbye.